The first encounter with the horned beast. Zalri had seen many strange things since joining the Human Star Alliance. She had seen their sleeping masks, their obsession with hot drinks called coffee, and their strange habit of naming weapons after animals. But nothing prepared her for what happened on Earth. It began on a sunny day. Zalri had accepted an invitation from Marcus, her human teammate, to visit his home colony on Earth. His family wanted to meet her. "Nothing fancy," he'd said. "Just dinner with my folks." She expected a quiet meal. She got a shock to her core. They sat around a wide wooden table in a bright garden. Birds chirped. A breeze carried the scent of flowers. Children laughed in the distance. And then the food arrived. A large plate of roasted meat, glazed with golden sauce and herbs, was placed right in front of Zalri. She looked at it. It steamed. It shimmered. It smelled powerful. Then she looked up. On the wall behind Marcus's father hung a painted image. A creature with 4 size large eyes, a pink nose, and most important of all, 2 giant curved horns. Zalri's eyes went wide. Her hands trembled. She pointed at the picture. "Is that the creature on this plate?" she asked in a sharp whisper. The table went silent. Marcus glanced at the picture. "Oh, that? Yeah, that's a cow. That's where the beef comes from." Zalri stood so fast her chair fell backwards. "You eat horned beasts?" His little sister dropped her fork. His father blinked. Zalri backed away from the table. Her tail coiled tightly. Her skin glowed with alarm. Marcus raised his hands. "Whoa, Zal, calm down." "Calm? You expect calm?" She pointed again. "That creature has built-in weapons on its head. And you humans consume it?" Marcus's mom cleared her throat. "It's just a cow, dear," Zalri gasped. "You gave it a nickname before you devoured it?" Marcus pulled Zalri gently to the side. "Okay, maybe we should talk. You're kind of freaking out," Zalri whispered. "Where I'm from, horned animals are sacred. They are guardians, warriors. We build temples for them." Marcus nodded. "On Earth, cows are important too, but we also raise them for food. It's part of our history." Zalri stared at the roasted meat. "You mean you raise the warriors, then eat them?" Marcus tried to explain. "It's not like that. It's not about cruelty. It's tradition, survival. It's food." Zalri shook her head slowly. "This is a death ritual, isn't it?" Marcus laughed. "No, it's just dinner." Back at the table, Zalri sat down slowly. She pushed the plate away and picked up a bowl of salad instead. Marcus's father smiled awkwardly. "So Zalri, what do your people eat?" She looked up. "Roots, leaves. Sometimes spice fish. Never creatures with horns. That's forbidden." The father nodded politely. "That's respectable." Marcus leaned over. "You want something else? We have fruit. Bread, plant patties." She nodded quickly. "Yes, please, nothing that once had a battle helmet on its head." Everyone chuckled. A little. After dinner, Zalri stood near the garden fence, staring at a field of grazing cows. They moved slowly, peaceful, simple. She tilted her head. "They're calm." Marcus joined her. "Yep, cows are chill." She stepped closer. One cow stared back with its big eyes and gave a soft moo. Zalri narrowed her eyes. "That sound, it's a warning call, isn't it?" Marcus smiled. "No, that's a greeting," Zalri whispered. "They speak." Marcus laughed. "In their own way, yeah." She turned to him. "How do you choose what to eat, Marcus? Why this beast and not another?" He was quiet for a second. "It's complicated. Our ancestors ate what they could to survive. Over time, it became part of culture. Now, people choose for different reasons: taste, health, habit." Zalri folded her arms. "And those horns?" Marcus shrugged. "We don't eat those," she sighed. "That is the only mercy you offer." Later that night, Zalri wrote in her star log, "Today, I learned that humans consume horned beasts not for power, but for tradition. They honor them, raise them. Then roast them. I do not fully understand it, but I no longer think they are monsters. Just strange. The shock of the menu. The next morning, Zalri woke up early on the Earth colony. She hadn't slept well, not because the bed was bad, it was soft and warm, but because her brain refused to rest. Horned beasts. Humans didn't just hunt them, they raised them, named them, ate them, and still called it normal. She needed answers. Real answers. So she did what any curious alien girl would do on a strange planet. She went to a restaurant. The local food place was called the Barn Grill. A friendly name, she thought. Safe, harmless. Until she opened the menu. Her eyes went wide. Ribeye steak, prime cut from grass-fed horned cattle, barbecue ribs, smoked for 8 hours cheeseburger, double patty, real beef lamb curry, earth sheep, bone-in Zalri slammed the menu shut. Lamb? She whispered. That's a baby horned creature. The waiter, a young woman with a nose ring, came over and smiled. You ready to order, sweetie? Zalri blinked. Yes, I will take the grilled air. With a sigh of silence, the waiter laughed. We've got salad. Zalri nodded quickly. Yes. Leaves. That is safe. While she waited, she stared at the other humans eating. They laughed. They chewed. One human bit into something that looked like a roasted leg. Still, curved like it had once stood proudly in a field, she whispered, They do it without guilt. Without fear. Then a voice behind her said, Not all of us. She turned. It was a human woman wearing a green shirt with a leaf on it. She smiled warmly. I'm Alyssa. I'm vegan. Zalri stood. You don't eat horned beasts? Or any beasts? Zalri's eyes widened. You are a rare human. Alyssa laughed. Not as rare as you think. They sat together. Alyssa explained that humans are very different. Some eat meat, some don't. Some believe in protecting animals. Some grow lab-grown meat that never came from real creatures at all. We're not all the same, she said. Just like your people probably aren't. Zalri thought for a moment. On my world, we are taught not to eat creatures with horns. But there are those who break this rule. Quietly. Alyssa smiled. See? We're not so different. Then the real surprise came. Zalri asked, Are cows the only horned creatures you eat? Alyssa shook her head slowly. No. There's also goats. Zalri froze. Goats. With sharp horns and clever eyes. Yes, Zalri whispered. That's worse. Goats are sacred tricksters in our stories. Eating one is like chewing a god's little brother. Alyssa giggled. I've never heard it said like that. Zalri leaned back, overwhelmed. She took out her notebook and wrote, Day 2. Humans eat horned beasts, and clever ones too. Marcus arrived at the restaurant just in time to see Zalri finishing her salad. You look like you saw a ghost. No, she said. I saw your menu. He chuckled and sat down. It's just food. It's a list of crimes, she replied. He raised an eyebrow. What about on your planet? You never eat anything with horns? No, she said. Horned beasts are signs of wisdom, age, and warning. Eating them is forbidden. What do you eat then? She paused. We eat plants, roots, and slow fish. Never something that stares you in the eye and challenges your spirit. Marcus smirked. That explains a lot. Later, they visited the Earth Market. Zalri passed a section called Butcher's Corner. She saw heads, real animal heads with horns, eyes closed in frozen silence. She stopped, stared. Marcus noticed. You okay? Zalri replied slowly. Do you ever feel their memory? He looked at the display. Sometimes, he admitted. Some people forget where their food comes from, but others remember. She nodded. Good. Because if the creatures had horns, they probably remember you too. The ceremony of the grill. The smell reached her before the fire. Zalri stepped into Marcus's backyard and stopped. There was no battlefield, no music, no speeches. But something important was happening. A group of humans stood around a metal structure, on 3 legs. Inside it, hot coals glowed like the hearts of tiny red stars. Above them, a steel grid. On the grid, rows of sizzling meat. This was the ceremony of the grill. Marcus waved her over. "Zal, glad you made it." She walked slowly, eyeing the grill like it might roar at her. "You brought me," she said, "to watch the burning of horned beasts?" He laughed. "It's called a barbecue." Children ran with plates. Adults laughed while flipping meat. Someone passed a drink with floating fruit inside. The air was full of scent and stories. Zalri stayed near the edge. "Zal," Marcus said, "meet my grandfather, Eli." An old man with white hair and soft eyes turned to her. "So this is the alien who fainted over a cheeseburger?" Zalri raised her chin. "I did not faint. I backed away, politely." Eli chuckled. "Smart move." He pointed at the grill. "You see that fire? That's older than civilization." Zalri tilted her head. "You worship it?" "No," Eli said. "We gather around it, like humans always have." She watched carefully. Marcus flipped the meat with care, not force. He poked it, pressed it. He spoke to it as if it were a sleeping animal. A woman added sauce, sweet, spicy, full of smell and meaning. Then something strange happened. They began telling stories. One man said, "My father used to grill on the old porch every summer." A woman added, "He burned everything. We still ate it, laughed anyway." Eli said softly, "My first date with my wife was around a fire like this. I cooked. She pretended to like it." They all smiled. Zalri looked around. This wasn't just cooking. This was remembering. She pulled Marcus aside. "This is not just survival." He nodded. "Nope. It's family, culture, connection, but it's still meat." "Yeah," he said, "and sometimes we forget that. But the grill reminds us." Zalri looked back at the fire. One small horned beast had become a shared memory. Later, she walked past a small boy holding a stick with a grilled skewer. He offered her a piece. "Want one?" She looked at it. "Is it from the horned beast?" He nodded. "But it's happy meat." She blinked. "What?" "My mom said it lived a good life. Then it became part of us." Zalri hesitated, then smiled gently. "No, thank you, but I'm glad it made you happy." That night she sat alone on the porch writing in her journal. "Today I witnessed a ritual not of war, but of warmth. Fire, meat, and memory danced together like stars in a human sky. The horned beast is gone, but somehow still present. These humans, they burn their food, but they cook it with stories. I still will not eat it, but I no longer call it strange." The crisis at the animal preserve. 2 days later, Zalri visited a quiet place outside the colony. It was called the Earth Harmony Animal Preserve, a green valley where earth creatures lived in peace. Some with horns, some with feathers, some with nothing but soft eyes and slow movements. Marcus had invited her. "No meat here," he promised. "Just peace." Zalri agreed. But peace didn't last. They were walking near a wide fence when the ground shook. Then came the alarm. "Warning. Containment breach. Level 3 horned species loose." Zalri turned fast. "What does that mean?" Marcus stared toward the hills. "It means something got out." Then they saw it. A large beast with golden fur and long, twisting horns galloped across the field. It wasn't angry, but it was strong. It charged through the trees, heading for the nearby trail where children played. Zalri gasped. "They must stop it!" But the guards were too far, and the children didn't know the danger was coming. Marcus ran. No weapon, no plan, just running. He leapt over a fence and waved his arms. "Hey, over here!" The beast saw him. It turned. Zalri shouted, "Marcus, what are you doing? It could kill you." "I know." He grabbed a flare stick and lit it. The red smoke caught the creature's attention. It charged. Zalri covered her mouth. But at the last second, Marcus jumped aside, and the creature crashed into a pile of crates, stunned, but not hurt. The guards arrived and safely sedated the animal. The children were safe. So was the beast. Zalri rushed to Marcus. You protected it." He nodded, catching his breath. "Of course. But it's the same kind of creature humans eat." He looked at the stunned animal. "Yeah, but here it's not food, it's life, it matters." Zalri whispered, "You risked your life for it." Marcus smiled. Respect doesn't stop at the dinner table. Later, Zalri sat beside the now sleeping horned beast in a recovery barn. It breathed softly, calm, gentle. She touched its fur. So warm, so real, so innocent. She closed her eyes. "I was wrong," she thought. "Humans don't just eat, they choose, and some choose to protect." That evening, she stood before the colony committee and told them what she saw. Today, a human ran into danger. To protect a horned beast, not to hunt it, not to tame it, just to make sure it could live. She looked at the crowd. "I once thought all humans were careless, but now I know. Some are careful with the lives they don't need to take." The room was silent. Then someone clapped. Then more. That night, Marcus and Zalri watched the stars. "You changed your mind," he said. She nodded. "Not about eating horned beasts. That still feels wrong." He chuckled. "Fair. But I no longer believe humans are careless," she said. "You fight to protect what you could easily destroy." "That is rare," Marcus smiled. "Guess you're not done learning about us." She looked up. Not even close. The truth about the past. Zalri stood inside a giant Earth Museum dome. The walls around her shimmered with living light, showing holograms from centuries past. She had seen weapons, clothing, tools. But today, Marcus brought her to a new exhibit. It was called Meat and Memory: How Humans Survived the Ages. Zalri stepped forward slowly. The first display showed early humans huddled around fire, wrapped in animal skins. Their faces were tired, their bodies thin. But in their hands, tools. In their eyes, survival. A voice spoke from the ceiling. "In the beginning, humans hunted not for taste, but for life." Zalri saw a video of old tribes chasing horned beasts across snowy plains. Spears in hand, barefoot in frost. Children waited near fires, hoping their fathers would return with food. Marcus stood beside her. "We didn't eat for fun back then. We ate to live. If we failed, we starved." Zalri's eyes narrowed. "So your respect for horned beasts began with dependence?" He nodded. "Exactly. They gave us food, warmth, even tools." Another display showed ancient drawings, on stone, humans dancing around animals, hands raised, faces filled with awe. Zalri stared. "You worshiped them?" "In some places, yes," Marcus said. "Some believed the spirit of the animal entered you when you ate. Others said a thank you before every meal." Zalri was silent, then asked quietly, "When did that change?" Marcus's face grew serious. "When the world became easier. We built machines. We made food fast. We forgot what it meant to take life." They moved to the next room. Zalri saw a video of a modern factory. Metal machines, cold rooms, animals moving, on lines. No music, no prayer, no feeling. She looked away. Marcus turned off the screen. "That's why some of us don't eat meat anymore. Because we forgot the meaning behind it," Zalri whispered. "But some remember." He nodded. "Yes. Some raise animals with care. Some choose plants. Some give thanks before every bite." She looked up at him. "I thought you humans were confused. You pet animals, then eat them. You raise beasts, then roast them." She placed a hand on the wall's glowing stone. But now I see. You're not confused. You're just still choosing between forgetting and remembering. Outside the museum, they sat under a tree. Children played nearby, some with horned animal toys. Zalri watched a boy drop his toy, then pick it up and say, "Sorry." She smiled. Marcus asked, "What are you thinking?" She answered slowly. "I thought my people respected life more, but I see now. Your people once did too. Deeply. You respected every creature because it meant something." She looked at him. "Does it still mean something?" Marcus nodded. "To the right people, it does." That night, Zalri added to her journal, "Today I saw the past. They hunted not with pride, but with purpose. They cooked not with power, but with pain. And when they ate, they remembered. I may never eat horned beasts. But now I understand why some humans still do. Not for hunger, not for taste, but to honor the beast that once kept them alive." Zalri's choice. The hall was glowing. Inside the Interworld Peace Center, beings from over 20 species sat at one long table. The ceiling sparkled like a starfield, and dishes from across the galaxy steamed in front of each guest. This wasn't a battle. This was a feast, and Zalri had never felt more nervous. She sat beside Marcus, her human friend, and tried not to stare at the large silver tray in front of her. On it, a traditional earth dish. Roasted slices, spiced carefully, tender, hot, meat from a horned animal. A server approached her gently. "It is the earth-side dish for today," he said. "You may accept it, or you may request an alternative." Zalri looked at the plate. Then at the alien guests beside her, each with their own traditions, their own meals. Some ate flesh, some ate plants, some only drank liquid light. No one was judging. No one was forcing. This was her choice. Marcus leaned closer. "You don't have to prove anything." "I know," she said quietly. She looked around the room, at the smiling faces, at the different lives, stories, customs. Then she stood, and every eye turned to her. She lifted the plate gently. "I thank you, the humans, for this dish," she said clearly. "I understand now that for many this is more than food. It is history, family, memory." She looked at Marcus. "But for me this meat still means sorrow, not because I hate it, but because I cannot forget what horned beasts mean to my people." She turned to the server. "May I have the plant version, please?" The server bowed. "Of course." Applause filled the room, not for a decision of rejection, but for a decision of truth. Later, as they ate, Marcus smiled and raised his glass. To choices made with heart. Zalri raised hers. To respect, served without force. They clinked their glasses, and all around the table beings from different worlds smiled, not because they agreed, but because they understood. That night, Zalri wrote one final line in her journal. "Today I ate without fear. I stood for my own truth and without attacking theirs, and in that moment, I felt full." The taste of understanding, the space. Station floated quietly above a blue-green moon. Inside its central dome, something new was happening. Tables were set. Bowls shimmered. Spices floated in the air like soft music. Creatures of all shapes and colors moved carefully between food counters, holding plates, sniffing curiously. It was not a battle, not a contest. It was a sharing. A new event, called The Taste of Understanding. And it all began with one question. Why do humans eat horned beasts? Zalri stood at the welcome booth beside Marcus, both wearing simple gray uniforms with the event's logo, a spoon crossed with a leaf and a star. She watched as a young Xanthari boy tasted sweet corn for the first time. As a jellyfish alien offered glowing soup to a robotic life form. As a human girl sat beside a beetle-shaped creature, both sharing bread. And nobody laughed. Nobody stared. They simply asked one thing. "What's this? And why do you eat it?" Marcus leaned over. You nervous? Zellri smiled softly. No, just proud. He nodded. Hard to believe this started because you panicked over a cheeseburger. She chuckled. It wasn't panic. It was informed horror. They both laughed. Then Zellri walked to the microphone. The room went quiet. She spoke clearly. Food once made me afraid. It confused me, made me think humans were cruel. But now I know. Food is a story, a memory, a choice. Today, we don't ask each other to eat the same thing. We only ask each other to listen. She raised her plate, full, of fruit, bread, and spice fish from her world. So come, taste not just what we cook, but who we are. And they came. Species with horns, scales, wings, light, all sat together, all ate together, and for the first time, Zellri didn't feel alien. She felt home. Later that night, she and Marcus stood by the window. Below them, the moon glowing softly. Inside them, peace. Marcus asked, "Still think we're crazy for eating horned beasts?" Zellri smirked. Yes, but now I think you're thoughtful, crazy people. They clinked their teacups. And in a galaxy full of weapons, borders, and noise, a spoon, a plate, and a question became the beginning of peace.